Hello, everyone. Welcome to segment 2 of Get the Scoop with Smirk's episode number 15. We're going to do something a little different in this segment. We'd like to focus more on the people that keep things running here at Smirk's. Since this episode is all about quality assurance at Smirk's, we're excited to welcome the members of our QA team. Here at Smirk's, the QA team's goal is to provide partnerships with not only our customers but our suppliers as well. In the last segment, you met me. I'm Tara Hettinger. I lead the QA team here at Smirk's. But as mentioned, there's a lot of QA work to do, and I couldn't possibly do it without my team. So with me today, I'm excited to introduce my team members, Danielle Duff and Kelsey Malone. Danielle and Kelsey, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Tara. Excited to be here.
Thanks, Tara. I appreciate you having me on.
Typically, customers and suppliers rarely get to know the QA team member behind the phone or the email. So this is a unique opportunity to get to know both of you. Danielle, let's start with you. Can you please tell us a little about yourself and what you like to do outside of work?
Hi, I'm Danielle Duff. I have a food science degree from CSU with a concentration in food safety and nutrition, and I am a huge nerd.
We all know that.
What?
We all know that.
I love food science, specifically on the fermentation and preservation side. My family has been growing and canning our own food all my life, and I did my senior capstone project on the effects of lactobacillus starter culture adjuncts on the pH of feta cheese making. Again, nerd. But I also love crafting, cooking, canning, playing D&D and board games with my friends, and spending time with my husband and our 3 pets, Garth, Tonks, and Dexterity.
Hey, thanks for sharing. What is it that piqued your interest to want to join Smirk's, and how does your educational and professional background tie into our QA roles?
I started college as a microbiology major. Learning about microbials and genetic modification was fascinating to me. However, 2 years into microbiology, I found out I'm allergic to agar-agar, the substance that is used to grow bacteria. So I had to change majors, and I found the food science major that still allowed me to use my knowledge that I had just removing the parts of the lab work. After college, because of my cheese project, I worked at a company called Leprino that makes mozzarella cheese. I was there for a few months, but was not happy with how I was able to use my food knowledge. And that my job was over 50 miles away from where I lived, and the commute wasn't working. So I looked on a job search site under food safety, and Smirk's quality associate popped up. I applied right away because the job description made me feel like I could use my food science knowledge, and it was much closer to home. When I interviewed, I felt like the people here really wanted to learn about what I said about food safety, microbes, and pathogens. I have been at Smirk's here for about 1.5 years, and I'm so happy I found Smirk's, where I can be my nerdy self and use my food science degree every single day.
What is it about the QA work that you find most rewarding?
I feel like everyone has the right to safe food, and we as an importer and distributor have a direct hand in making sure the food products that we are distributing are safe for everyone to consume.
Danielle, we talked above about your interest, but you didn't quite tell us how insanely crazy you are about your crafting and all the projects that you do. Tell us how many items you have made for the 3 craft shows that you did or are doing this year. And also tell our listeners how it scares both of us at times, how we are both on the same wavelength. Give our listeners an example.
So I do have my largest craft fair of the season this weekend. And I have been doing this craft fair with my mom ever since I was born, but I've recently taken over for my mom and done a lot more crafts. This year, I've canned over 200 jars of homegrown raspberry jam and 100 bottles of raspberry simple syrup. I've recently gotten into wood burning, and I've burned around 100 wood projects. We sew coasters and bowl koozies, plus I make tea towels that say Smarky sayings. I nearly sold out of those at the beginning of November, so I hope to have about 50 of them done for this weekend. I know it does seem insanely crazy, but crafting is my therapy. It's where my imagination runs wild, and I get to create something that makes others happy or a delicious treat to brighten someone's day. But I also never know when to stop crafting, and I will probably be trying to get one more project done up until the craft fair starts.
How many hours have you slept this week, Danielle?
Uh, Not enough.
Okay. Carry on.
As for you and I being on the same wavelength, the amount of times we send the same email at the same time or respond to a coworker asking a question word for word the same time is amazing. Recently, we had a really busy week here, and I thought I would stop for coffee, or in my case, tea. I should not drink coffee. For us both before work, only to find out you thought the exact same thing. So we both had 2 drinks to drink that day. Now we message each other beforehand just to spread the coffee out of it.
We sure do. Thanks, Danielle. Appreciate your background. Kelsey, can you tell us a little bit about your professional background and why you originally joined Smirks?
Oh, where do I begin? I've been in healthcare for about basically 16 years. The past 3.5 years, I worked at UC Health Anschutz Medical Campus in Aurora, which is the #1 ranked hospital in Colorado and the 8th ranked in the nation. I am a certified sterile processing tech, which basically means we reprocess any instruments used during surgery. And I'm still PRN, and I do a couple overnight shifts here and there throughout the months. When I decided to look elsewhere for work outside the healthcare field, simply because who wants to drive 76 miles each direction each day? So one day my mom emailed me that Smirks was hiring an administration assistant, so I went ahead and applied. I knew when applying it was going to be one of the best decisions. I know Nick, Donnie, Mike, and April from when my mom worked at Urker Grain for years. So I knew that I would love the family atmosphere that Smirks provides. A year and a half later, I can say, honestly, the best choice for me career-wise.
Kelsey, some people shy away from the QA. Why did you decide to join Smirk's QA department, and what do you find interesting and challenging about the job?
Basically, Tara bribed me to take this
job.
Oh,
come on.
Just kidding. When I was hired at Smirks originally, I was an administration assistant, in which I did inbounding and releasing to and from our warehouses of products. On a slower days, Tara would give me projects to work and help out the QA department. Now, for someone who only knows healthcare terminology, looking at QA documents was a complete foreign language to me. So Google became my best friend, along with looking up terms, what do they mean, why are they important to food safety, and the list could go on and on. But eventually, 6 to 7 months later into my position, a QA position opened up, and Tara pulled me into her office and basically asked me, hey, you gonna apply for this position? And I said, I planned on it, and since April, I've been in the QA department. Joining the QA team, you need to be paying attention to details, staying organized, and not to be afraid to ask questions. And with those skills, I felt that I could tackle the position. QA is a tedious job. You must pay attention to every detail on any documentation that you receive. It amazes me the number and variety of products that we disperse to our customers and how each product has its own profile, basically. It's pretty cool when walking into a grocery store and seeing the product that we sent our customers on the shelves. I would say the most challenging part about this position is not compromising quality. There are so many different timelines for our customers and traders that product needs to be received or new product needs to be vetted. Our process in QA is very stringent and needs everything to be black and white with no potential of gray area. So to make sure that we follow everything down to the last T and make sure all those questions are answered before we go and stamp our approval.
So outside of work, how do you like to spend your time, Kels?
So basically, outside of work, I'm currently going to school to get my Bachelor's of Science in Human Resources with a concentration of Business Analytics. So most of my spare time is actually spent doing homework, but once in a while when I get it done, I enjoy watching my nieces play sports, road trips, binge watching shows or movies, gardening, and hanging out with my family, and going on truck hauls with my boyfriend and our German short-haired rooster.
How many concerts have you been to this year, Kels?
Too many to count, and all of them were that fantastic.
Which one was the best one you went to?
I would say Jelly Roll and Cheyenne Frontier Days. It was pretty good.
Heck yeah. I know that you have nieces, but I know your oldest niece you are more than just an aunt to. Can you tell us a little about her and her accomplishments?
I sure can. My niece Peyton is more of a daughter to me than a niece, and I'm not her Aunt Kelsey, I'm her Mama Kay. In 2019, when I moved back to Colorado from Nebraska, Peyton more or less moved in with me, and she was 14 at the time. She started high school in Wiggins that following fall, and then in high school, she excelled in academics, sports, volleyball, track, with a couple years of wrestling as well. She was an active member of 4-H and played club volleyball for 4 years. So needless to say that we were a lot of long days and a lot of road trips with her sports. She's definitely more well traveled than me than I'm at 32. She also has 2 state volleyball champion rings. Anything that kid sets her mind to, she went above and beyond expectations. She graduated in May of 2024 at top of her class, and she packed her car up and we moved her to West Texas A&M and Canyon, Texas, where she's getting her associates in business ag and wants to become a realtor as well. She has big accomplishments ahead, and I can't wait to see where she makes it in her life.
Girls, that was a lot of fun to get to know you and let our listeners get to know you as well. Thank you for partaking in and agreeing to do this with me. We want to thank our listeners for joining us today on episode 15 of Get the Scoop with Smirks. But stay tuned, as next up, Garrett will be sharing the latest market report, November 2024. If you ever have any questions for Smirks about our products or specific QA questions, please don't hesitate to contact what'snew@smirks.com or visit our website for more information as well and how to contact us. Thanks, everyone.